Hello, we're Royal Blood. This is Ben Thatcher. My name is Mike Kerr, and this is Lena Rock. Enjoy yourself.
Hi Mike, hi Ben. Welcome to Royal Blood, to Linear Rock, and to Milan.
Thank you very much.
Glad to have you here. So, one great phenomenon for two young musicians, British musicians. In the last 3 years, you actually conquered the world. 1, 2, 3. So, your lucky numbers. It's called Royal Blood, and in word and deed, I must say. And you're incredible. Since August 2013, when your debut album came out, it was one of the fastest selling debuts in the last few years. Did you ever wonder why us, what happened, and how do you deal with, such a huge success, since you maybe barely had the time to realize what was happening?
I think we've spent most of our lives playing music and one day thinking, wouldn't it be great if we got to do this all the time? But when it happened to us, it was a big surprise, as Royal Blood was the first band me and Ben have been in where we decided not to try and gain any kind of attention in sort of. I guess we were just playing for ourselves, really.
Okay.
Our experience of being in bands that were trying to make it was, it just got boring really quickly because suddenly it didn't become about the music. But when things started to get some traction and the whole thing went mental, I don't think it was. It was nothing to endure, nothing. It was nothing to kind of deal with. It was just fun. It was.
Okay.
We were so up for it, and it was just an enjoyable ride, wasn't it, Ben?
Yeah.
And you've been in 4-piece band, but you decided to have Royal Blood as a duo.
Yeah.
Was that a precise choice since the beginning? And is there any special reason behind this choice?
I think the chemistry between us when we play is something that has built up over the years.
Okay.
And it's almost like there wasn't really anyone else that could fit in the way that, because we're so tight together.
Yeah.
It was a mixture of that and just having a big sound with just the two of us, that we thought we don't actually need anyone else anyway, which is lucky because, what on earth would they do?
Do you also write everything as a duo, or is there any theme behind collaborating to, the whole thing?
This album was the first time we did a collaboration with a guy called John Barrett from a band, Bass Drum of Death.
Yeah.
He wrote Lights Out with us. But usually, it's me and Ben in a room jamming out. This new album was written in other ways too. There was a lot of songs that came out of, building up beats, which is something we'd never really tried before.
Yeah.
And a lot of kind of studio-based writing. But yeah, generally it's it's the Kerr Thatcher duo.
And so you just introduced it. The album is coming out June 16, 2017. And it's called How Did We Get So Dark? It sounds quite like a menace or maybe a promise. It's going to be something different this time?
I think it is something different, yeah. It kind of had to be, really. We're 3 years on from the first album, and I think we've matured a lot as musicians and songwriters, and I think the lyrics as well, perhaps a bit more refined and reflective from anything that exists on the first record. And yeah, I think I don't think we wanted to put out a record that mimicked anything from the first album. I'd say everything on this album is a brand new character and feel to anything we've done before. So it's really kind of all the moves we haven't pulled yet.
On the cover, there's a duo, but of girls.
Yeah.
Is there any special, particular concept behind it? And again, you chose a black and white cover shot.
Yeah.
While your music is very colorful, I must say, but you present it as black and white. And you also won the Best Art Vinyl for the cover of the first album. So is there something actually you think about a lot also, how to present the record? Because it is something very vintage, to cure so much a cover, because now everything is very small.
Yeah, well, this cover looks good when it's small, which is... I think is important because, back in the day when everything was just on vinyl, you could have these really intricate, detailed pieces of art, whereas now, it's got to be impactful when it's literally the size of a thumbnail. But I think this cover was something that was really striking. It existed before. It was a pre-existing photograph that we found.
You found it on the web?
Just online, and it was... it kind of, immediately had an impact on us, which is a good sign. And both of us thought that's a really interesting photograph, and it got more interesting the more you looked at it. And I think, it's fairly abstract, which we quite like as well, much like our first one. And I like the kind of the mystery of it. But I can't take any credit for the actual piece itself, as we had nothing to do with it. Just a fan of it.
You've been defined as hard rock to stoner, garage rock, but basically maybe one definition is not enough. It doesn't fit. Are all these definitions something that you like, or you prefer not to be labeled?
Or just one definition of rock?
Okay.
They all have something in common: stoner rock, heavy rock.
Yeah, there's a common denominator.
There's one thing that they're all saying, and so we'll go with rock music. But we don't like to box ourselves too much with genre. We're pretty outgoing with our tastes. So
hopefully every song will have something different to it as well, rather than, like you were saying, Ben, rather than just being one thing.
Okay.
We're many colours, aren't we? We're a rainbow.
We're many shades.
Many shades of rock.
That's good.
50 Shades of Rock.
Yeah, that's good. Maybe the title of the next album.
Thank you.
So you have some influential legends among your fans. Jimmy Page, Howard Stern, the Foo Fighters. They all declare that they are impressed at the sound coming, out from only a two-piece band. How is it, this sound built? Did it came actually naturally, or how did you and for the live performance, is actually all live, or you use any tricks?
There was lots of things along the way that led to the band sounding the way it does. A big part of it is just the nature of the music that me and Ben make when we play together, and I guess being a two-piece, you think about the kind of the size. You're always thinking about the size of it, really, and the aesthetic of how can we make this sound bigger with less. But I mean, also as well, like the bass sound I have, something that developed over like a few years. I was in a three-piece band at one point, and when the guitarist left, suddenly it was the solution to filling up the space was to add more amplifiers and play around with sounds a bit more. And then, it's one of those things that's just developed along the way, and it's still developing now. I guess most guitarists have, that's the same with them, that, your sound develops and constantly evolves. So, I would say it's a fairly natural...
Okay.
In a natural journey.
About the Royal Blood covers, will there be any album project of covers? Why this idea actually?
Yeah, that would be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Only if Ben
That's
does all
why
the,
I'm
only if
asking.
Ben does the vocals, because
Yeah,
you've been absolutely killing it.
I have. I've
You've had
been.
a great response,
Yeah,
particularly Spandau Ballet.
gold. Yeah, I'm pretty good at that one.
So
I've just
yeah,
been going to karaoke nights most evenings. That's what I do in my spare time.
Okay.
Just learning the lyrics, and actually now I don't need the lyrics at karaoke. I can just perform. I can just focus on the performance.
what you're saying is you're a professional now.
Thank you, Mike.
About your headlines, which are quite impressive: 3.8 million Spotify streams, 1.6 million Apple Music streams, 2 million YouTube views, 8 million 360 something Samsung performance views. A lot of stuff.
Figures,
You know,
numbers.
numbers, but
Facts.
that's huge. Till 20 years ago, maybe that would translate in maybe extra 20 million sales. But now, the scenery is very different. How do two young, talented musicians like you approach the fact, that the music market is structured nowadays very differently, with all the modern tools that gives, a lot of opportunities, but at the same time, you can be immediately worldwide famous very quick, despite the past. But how are the perspective and the expectations for a new band like you at the moment? It's very difficult to build a long and strong career.
It is, yeah.
Nowadays.
And I think the nature of what we do is, it can be taken away from you at any moment and can be given to you as sporadically as kind of what happened with us. Everything came very quickly, but I don't know how. I don't know how much we tune into that. Really, I think we're kind of aware that the situation we're in is a very lucky one, and particularly being in a rock and roll band, getting to do this for a living is something that's pretty amazing, and we're just trying to enjoy it as it happens to us. I think to be sort of concerned about that our future is not really it's not really in our nature, is it?
No, live in the now.
Live in the now. I mean, the
Okay.
whole band was basically an elaborate setup to have a bit of fun, and the fun hasn't stopped, has it, Ben?
A joke that's gone too far.
It's a joke that's gone way too far.
Okay.
Look at this shirt.
Very last two questions, quick ones. Is there any duo in the rock history that you consider most influential?
Hall and Oates
Okay.
Yeah, or Simon Garfunkel.
or Simon and Garfunkel.
Okay.
Probably Hall and Oates.
Okay.
I'm being serious though.
The White Stripes has never been an influential
Good band.
for
I
you,
mean,
but
I don't think we limit our influences to duos,
okay.
and being in a two-piece wasn't something that we always dreamed of.
Okay.
It ended up being this way
Okay.
very organically, as we explained earlier.
Last thing, do you have any funny tour story with the Foo Fighters? And
1, 2
Okay.
Tour story of the Foo Fighters.
with the Foo Fighters. We could tell the story of the sound guy,
Yeah.
or
Okay, we'll let you decide. We got
we'll give you a story menu.
story about our sound guy.
Okay.
A story about
Easy.
I've got to think. Let's just go with the sound guy story. Go for it.
This one's probably the most appropriate to talk about on radio. Our sound guy went to bed in his bunk one night,
Okay.
drunk,
Oh.
woke up in the middle of the night,
Yeah.
and his testicle was twisted.
Oh.
He went online, self-diagnosed a contorted testicle, found a hospital in the middle of the night. We're all asleep on the bus. We wake up in the morning to our tour manager and the bus driver we can hear them having a heated conversation. Everyone gets out of their bunks, and we realise we're outside a hospital, and we say, "Where's the sound guy?" And the bus driver said, "He's currently in surgery, having his testicle removed."
Oh my God.
And he mixed the show that night,
Wow.
post-surgery.
Wow.
That's currently the probably one of the best
Oh, yeah.
Royal Blood Tour stories.
And he's still working with you?
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We call him
He's a
the legend.
superhero.
He is. We
He
call
is.
him the legend.
Okay, last thing. Did you ever have the chance to meet Chris Cornell? And has he ever been an influence on you guys?
We never met him. Yeah, obviously it's just something that's come up recently, is talking about a little bit. But I remember Tom Dalgetty, who's the guy that produced our first album.
Yeah.
I remember kind of learning to sing while Tom recorded me, and yeah, he was someone that would regularly like be put on as a reference for melodies, and Tom like introduced me to his music.
Okay.
So that's kind of my sort of closest memory of like his music and his voice. Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you very much for having us.
See you next time.
Next time.